The fleet call us sharks. They know what happens when we see red. Yes?
Hello. Pardon.
Howdy.
Okay. Hello?
I sleep, ma'am. Just not for very long.
Pardon? Yes? What?
Yes? Hey. Hello.
As a former convict, you've seen the inside of a cell. Stay out of mine and we'll get along just fine. Welcome to the brig. As a member of SysDef, you may talk with the prisoners as long as you are mindful of operation security. As a personal rule, I simply ask that you adhere to UC Navy standards of cleanliness at all times. That means no mud on your boots, your hands are washed, and you are free of any contagious diseases. Besides the fact that it's healthier, a sanitary brig is important for station security. In my experience, a prisoner will hide a shiv under a flake of dust if you let them. The cleaner a space is, the easier it is to spot irregularities, both inside the cell and out. I trust your Commander Ikande's undercover mole. I understand the lack of hygiene is part of the cover. So, lucky for you, you're an exception to my usual rule. But try not to abuse the privilege. He's a good man, singularly focused when it comes to the fleet. But that's not to say he doesn't care about his crew. I can tell you a story as an example if you'd like to hear it. So, I'm a bit of a workaholic, and I forget to take breaks. One day, Commander Ikande passes by the brig and sees me at my desk. He takes one look at my haggard face and says, "Officer, I'm headed to the mess hall. If you're not with me in 15 minutes, your services will no longer be required on my ship." I tried to protest, but he was dead serious. So I went. We had lunch, talked about old times, and I went back to the brig refreshed, and ready to work. It's little things like that. You can see he pays attention, and that he cares about the people, not just the work. The cells you see here are for captured pirates and prisoners of war. If you apprehend any pirates during the course of your missions, they'll be detained here. That's a loaded question. We err on the side of caution here, short of any physical abuse. But with the Crimson Fleet, you have to be very careful. If you give them an inch, they'll take a parsec and find a way to stab you with it. Verbally, yes. There's a lot of bad blood with the fleet, stretching across generations, myself included. Sometimes that blood spills over. As long as there's no actual fighting, I tend to let both sides dish it out. Yes, although it's always a balance. In the end of the day, these are ruthless pirates, and they will take advantage of any weakness you show. But I'll be the first to admit it's not an exact science, and we've made mistakes in the past with both the carrot and the stick. As chief officer of this brig, my worst fear is that we'll someday repeat them. We have multiple turrets attached to the ceiling. If you've met Ensign Betty, she's personally calibrated them to ensure they cover the entire area. That being said, firing the turrets should be considered a last resort. Keep the floors and your nose clean and you can stay as long as you like.
Howdy. The Vigilance is our flagship. Where it goes, fleet run.
How's the pirating business?
Ugh, recycled air. Just isn't the same as the real thing.
Oh, hey. Let's talk later. Got a million things to do.
Hey, Dad. Want to hear a joke?
Sure, sweet pea. The old man could always use a laugh.
Okay. Who can jump higher than a skyscraper in New Atlantis?
I don't know.
Everybody! Skyscrapers can't jump!
or hey, next time you see Barrett, try it out on him.
While we're here, it wouldn't hurt if we checked in at the lodge.
Maybe we can talk later.
Always good to see another batch.
Keep your eyes open and watch your step, okay? It's really not safe for civilians here.
Yeah?
Gotta be honest, I'm a little surprised every time this ship makes it back in one piece.
You will be scanned as you enter the city. Please keep moving. Okay, no bounty. You're clear. Enjoy your visit.
So, what's new with you today? Hey there. All done for now? Okay.
Excuse me?
It's never easy, you know. Making decisions that could end the lives of soldiers pledged to your cause. Welcome back. Did you find your answers?
Not only that, but we found someone there, alive. A child born from 2 of the crew that survived the crash. After her parents died, that poor girl spent years surviving on that hostile world, alone. We abandoned her, Admiral. We let her down.
I'm sorry. I had no idea. How could we have possibly known? Yes, of course. I think we can all agree that this was another unfortunate circumstance of the colony war.
What you'd call an unfortunate circumstance, I call a tragedy.
You're absolutely right, Sarah. It is a tragedy. One thing that I can assure you is that the names of these men and women will never be forgotten. I'll see to it personally.
Thank you, Admiral.
Good luck to both of you. It's been an honor.
Once we're done here, we should have a little talk with Sona. Poor thing's waiting for us at the lodge.
Welcome back. Did you find your answers?
There was someone alive there, Admiral. A child born from 2 of the crew that survived the crash. After her parents died, that poor girl spent years surviving on that hostile world, alone. We abandoned her, Admiral. We let her down.
I'm sorry. I had no idea. How could we have possibly known? How dare you say that to me? Thousands died because they believed in the ideal set forth by the United Colonies. I know because I've signed each and every one of their death notices. So don't tell me I've dishonored anyone's memory. Because I mourn those thousands every day of my life.
We aren't doubting your integrity, Admiral. We are simply expressing our regrets at how this situation was resolved.
You're absolutely right, Sarah. This situation was handled poorly. One thing that I can assure you is that the names of these men and women will never be forgotten. I'll see to it personally.
Thank you, Admiral.
Good luck to both of you. It's been an honor.
Once we're done here, we should have a little talk with Sona. Poor thing's waiting for us at the lodge.
Welcome back. Did you find your answers?
And we did it for the child that was marooned there. A child, born from 2 of the crew, that survived the crash. After her parents died, that poor girl spent years surviving on that hostile world, alone. We abandoned her, Admiral. We let her down.
I'm sorry. I had no idea. How could we have possibly known? Sona. Is that her name? She must be a remarkable young woman.
She's extraordinary, Admiral. And I'm afraid the United Colonies let her down.
You're absolutely right, Sarah. We did let her down. One thing that I can assure you is that the names of these men and women will never be forgotten. I'll see to it personally.
Thank you, Admiral.
Good luck to both of you. It's been an honor.
Once we're done here, we should have a little talk with Sona. Poor thing's waiting for us at the lodge.
You know, sometimes I feel a bit guilty. Sitting behind a desk, deciding the fate of others.
No! We need to talk. I've got a moment. What's up? We'll talk again.
Need to get those reports entered before the end of the day.
I hope this water doesn't contain anything harmful. Every time I return here, I'm reminded of the importance of Constellation's contributions to exploration.
Remember, you're representing all of us out there.
I guess we need to talk. There you are. I was wondering when you'd come and say hi to me.
Hello, Sona. I see you found your way to the lodge without any trouble.
Yeah, it was kind of hard though. All these people around. Never seen so many people in my entire life. Sarah gave me directions. She's really good at that. Riding that gnat thing was super cool. It was like magic or something. Like something from the stories Mom used to read. But the hardest part was having everyone staring at me. All these people in one place. It's kind of scaring me. I don't know why. I think I like it. I don't know yet. It's all really new to me.
You'll fit in just fine. You're one of the smartest people I've ever met. So, what do you think? Do you like it here, Sona?
At the lodge? Yeah, this place is huge. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. You must be like a bazillionaire, Sarah.
Oh, don't I wish? This place isn't mine alone. It belongs to everyone who's a part of Constellation. And I think it should belong to you too, Sona. I want you to stay here and make this your home.
Whoa. Does that mean I get to go exploring with both of you? Or wait, do I get my own ship?
Well, Auntie Sarah can't exactly afford that right now, but she can provide you with the best exploration training in the galaxy.
I understand. Oh, and don't worry, I learn real fast, so you better get ready to have another member of Constellation signing on for missions.
I can't wait.
Well, anyway, thanks for letting me stay here. I promise I won't let either of you down.
I'm sure that you won't. Well, I think we should let Sona get settled. If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to visit the Colony War Memorial now. I want to pay my final respects.
If you want to talk, make it quick. I think I'm late for Noelle's science lesson. It's amazing. I've never seen anything like it in all my life. Not even in Mom's picture slates. It's almost like a fairy tale. Like it's not real, you know? I'm sure that sounds pretty dumb to you. But hey, I lived in a house made from busted up spaceship parts and trees. Yeah, a little bit. That planet was the only real home that I ever knew. I know it sounds kind of weird, but it feels like I've left my family behind. It was a really tough decision to make. But you and Sarah were right. I had to move on with my life. And hey, one day when I'm old enough, I could always go back for a visit. Don't worry about me, I'll be fine.
Colony War Memorial is actually quite lovely, in a solemn sort of way. If you'll just bear with me, I promise I'll explain everything.
Sure, I've got a minute.
We've always considered ourselves explorers, but this really is uncharted territory, isn't it? I know everyone's excited by the artifacts, but we need to be as objective as possible and be aware of possible negative effects. Stay safe, okay?
Kind of in the middle of something here?
Trees here are quite beautiful. Just slow down.
And those 100 other people will say the same. Dreams will always be our dreams.
Got something important to discuss?
Another day, another shift.
Nice to see you again.
you want to talk for a bit? How are things? Look at this. All these people. Their entire lives distilled down to names on a memorial. I wonder how close I came to being reduced to just a name. I am proud. I was simply too foolish to realize it until you changed my perspective. And I care about you too. There's obviously some kind of a connection between us that I think we need to discuss. Just let me have another moment here, and then we can head over to the waterfall, so we can talk in private. Okay, I'm ready. Let's go. It's not much further. I think you'll want to hear what I have to say after we arrive at the waterfall. If you'll just bear with me, I promise I'll explain everything. It's lovely here, isn't it? I've been from one end of the settled systems to the other. But this place, this exact spot, there's nowhere else like it in the galaxy. I don't know. I'm not sure I can explain it. Maybe it's the strange way that the art, technology, and nature fuse together, or maybe it's because it feels like home. Whatever it is, I definitely feel more comfortable here than anywhere else I've ever been. I hadn't thought of it that way. But you're absolutely right. I usually come up here to mull over some of the heated debates we have at Constellation. You'd be surprised how many decisions I've made on this very spot. Is it that obvious? The truth is, I've asked you up here because I wanted to talk about something very important. Good, because I have a lot to say. It's about my return to Cassiopeia. What we learned about Sona has been constantly replaying in my mind. Maybe it sounds crazy, but that young girl's isolation feels like a reflection of my own life. Maybe. But for how long? I've spent my life surrounded by all sorts of people. Constellation, the Navigator Corps. Hell, even the UC military. Despite that, no matter how hard I've tried to make them a part of my life, they tend to drift away and disappear. Are you sure? For all we know, it's in my nature to keep people at arm's length. Or worse, push them away. Finding someone like that would be wonderful. Wait a second. What exactly are you saying? Sorry, I just need a moment to gather my thoughts. From things you've said in the past, it's obvious you want to have a serious relationship. You want to become close. So, if you're willing to take that leap of faith with someone like me, then I'm ready to do the same. I can't imagine being in love with anyone else. So, if you're willing to make the leap, I'm ready to do the same. You're something truly special. You know that? You've helped me conquer my self-doubt, my confidence, hell, everything. For the first time in my life, I feel complete. And with you by my side, I'm convinced that feeling will last forever. You're the best thing that's happened to me in my life. I love you. Always. I received a message from my mother a few days ago. She's returned from another one of her sightseeing cruises. Yeah, you know, one of those luxury liner journeys that shows off binary stars, gas nebulas, asteroid fields. Pretty photogenic stuff. Apparently, it's my mother's new favorite pastime. Why would you be... Oh, I see. We never talked about this, did we? The truth is that my mother lives in a fairly remote location, so we rarely speak to one another. Yes, exactly. Everything's puppies and ice cream when you're young. Then before you know it, you've grown up to find your parents in control of your life. No, we should have discussed this a long time ago. You see, both of my parents were diplomats working under the flag of the UC Administrative Division. After I completed my basic education, they signed me up for a one-year apprenticeship in their department, without bothering to ask. It's the governmental arm of the United Colonies. You know, the politicians, the diplomats, the ambassadors. Imagine having to spend most of your career hovering behind a desk. Oh, I can't even fathom anything more boring. Look, I was 18 years old, fresh out of school, and I idolized my parents. I trusted them. I'm certain they felt they were doing what was best for their daughter. Who was I to argue? Wanted isn't the right word. Demanded would be more appropriate. For my apprenticeship, I was sent to Sidonia. My job consisted of drafting political policies and arbitrating trade disputes. The silver lining of the job was that it allowed me to spend time exploring every square inch of Mars. You have to understand, this was my first time I was alone on another world. Now, don't get me wrong, Jemison is an amazing place, but for me, it was the old neighborhood. Mars was like a new frontier. Oh, I spent every waking moment I could exploring the planet. I was swallowed by it.
Months before the apprenticeship ended, I dumped my diplomatic certification and joined the UC Navy. Of course, my parents didn't approve. We had a huge argument that resulted in all ties being severed between us. Yes, I was proud of myself. For a while. You see, my father was killed during the opening shots of the colony war. I returned to Jemison for the funeral and reunited with my mother. After that, we vowed to stay in touch. After the Freestar Collective started farming Vesta, and the UC pushed back, my father was one of the many diplomats sent in to arbitrate. After the talks broke down, war broke out on Vesta, and all of the UC diplomats were evacuated from Freestar space. Unfortunately, my father's transport was caught in the crossfire. Aren't you sweet? Always concerned with how I'm feeling. That's why I fell in love with you. Your smile, your caring. It brightens even my darkest days. Listen, I'm going to be completely upfront with you. All this talk of family, it makes me wonder where our own relationship stands. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I regret the family life I left behind when I took off for the stars. If there was ever a chance for something like that between us, I wouldn't want to miss the opportunity. I love you too much to allow that to happen. That's why I asked about our future and where we stand. You mean that? You'd do that? For me? I've been dreaming about this moment and still... I don't know what to say. Yes! Yes! Of course. Yes. I just need a little time to think about the ceremony. I have some thoughts about how we should move forward. You know, I used to dream about finding the love of my life. And here you are. All I ever needed was you, right here beside me. So, what's new with you today? You can tell me anything. How is it that you always know exactly what to say? Oh, it's difficult to put into words. Being with you is like, well, a dream come true. Good. Anytime you want to talk about our relationship, just let me know. God knows you've done that enough times for me. We should get a drink sometime.